Court documents suggest a string of fake robberies staged so the purported victims could get visas led to a man being killed by a bystander.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a string of fake robberies in Texas that led to at least one of the fake robbers getting deleted by a Good Samaritan. Now, $1 million question, why are they doing this? What is the reason? What's the purpose? Well, you're talking about these so-called migrants, and really a lot of them, probably 99.99%, straight up illegal aliens with no legal standing in this country. They want to get what's called the U visa, and they want to say that they were a victim of criminal activity as a reason to get the visa, which is a legitimate reason under the law. The problem is that it's illegitimate as far as the situation. They set up a fake robbery. So obviously they go to a gas station. It's well lit. It's going to be cameras. You do the fake robbery, and then the fake victim reports to the police, hey, I was robbed. A matter of fact, it's a lot of Africans. So how are you going to say, I was robbed. I have no more money. All that money is gone. I don't know where he went. He had the mask on his face. I was finished. Idiots. Took up my money. Where am I going to go now? I cannot go back to Nigeria. I got to stay here. I want a visa right now today. Give me the visa today. So that's the whole game plan, right? I was robbed. I want to get a U visa. I'm a victim of a crime. That's the whole thing, but it's all fake. And of course, they pay local guys out there in Houston to do the fake robbery. Unfortunately for the fake robber, innocent bystander, Good Samaritan, is in the parking lot, sees the whole thing going down. Now I'm going to get out and go John Wick and delete you. Now the guy's deceased, and the guy's girlfriend, fiance, or whatever is demanding justice. Oh yeah, tell my son, well, I knew he was doing wrong, but he shouldn't have got deleted. I mean, look, you said it right from the beginning. You knew he was doing wrong. So that's pretty much that on that. And these kind of scams happen so common. It's not even unheard of. These migrants, so-called migrants, have money. They were paid to do straight up illegal things, criminal things, dangerous things to gain status in this country. All right. So when I'm talking about, they say, oh, they're poor and they're hungry and they have no money, I can't tell. They're coming over here from all over the world, crossing oceans, having thousands upon thousands of dollars, and they engage in all kind of scams like this because, look, there was a string of these. This wasn't just one. This is a common thing that happens out there in Texas, probably all over the world as well, all over the country, in the USA at least. Now, before we get to more from the guy's fiance and some more details from the scene, a word from our sponsor. Online data brokers sell your information to scammers, hackers, and anyone who wants to use that information against you. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, even your family members' information is all out there on the internet for sale. I mean, look at what they found about me. That's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information, and they automatically submit opt-out requests on my behalf. Cleaning up my information not only helps me reduce spam, but it protects me from hackers who may want to access my bank account, social media account, and maybe even the inside of my home. I learned that the hard way back when I got swatted. It's 2019, I'm streaming as normal, and before I know it, I have 6 cops at my back door, guns drawn. They come in the house, tell us to get on the ground. They come back very apologetic. I'm sorry, Mr. Logan, we got an anonymous tip that somebody was in your house bleeding, tied up, all this, that, and the third. Come to find out, the person probably got my information, including my phone number and home address, from an online data broker. You may be thinking, hey, ABL, why would I need Aura? How can that help me? I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a streamer. Well, AT&T just revealed that over 73 million existing and former customers' records were released to the black web. Now, AT&T recommends that you use stronger passwords and monitor your account activity, maybe consider a credit freeze or a fraud alert from a credit bureau. Well, Aura does all that for me. And the best part is that I don't need a bunch of different apps to accomplish this goal, all because one company could not keep my data secure. If your data was in the AT&T breach, just download Aura, activate it, have it in the background, and rest easy knowing that your data is safe. I value my privacy and I value yours. Visit aura.com/Anthony Logan through the link in the description to start your free 2-week trial today. All right. Now, of course, I will link to this video and the entire story in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Court documents suggest a string of fake robberies staged so the purported victims could get visas led to a man being killed by a bystander. We told you in January about that shooting on Ella Boulevard, only on Fox Tonight. Fox 26's Abigail Dye spoke with the fiance of the man who died. She has that story tonight. Abigail.
Tom, Rashad Scott, 22 years old. He was shot and killed while he was staging a fake robbery that the victims were apparently in on. Now, his fiance tells me that she knows he wasn't doing the right thing at the time, but she thinks that he at least deserved to see a day in court rather than have the death sentence right there.
And you know what? She could be right. She could be right. But check it out, though. Anything could have been that could have went any kind of way, regardless of who was right there in the parking lot. Your guy was engaging in the wrong thing. He was doing the wrong thing, and a wrong thing happened. That's how it goes.
On scene.
This is video that we showed you in January of what looks like a robbery turned homicide when police say a bystander shot and killed the robber and left the scene. But now,
what is that he has? Is that a rifle, a shotgun? Like, what is going on?
we know this robbery was a setup. The man killed is 22-year-old Rashad Scott. Court records say William X. Winfrey paid Scott to fake the robbery so that the fake victims could apply for U visas.
So I don't think the guy who paid him is a migrant. I think the guy who paid is like a middleman. So this guy got approached by a migrant or some migrants. He says, okay, I know who to go to. I'm not going to do the fake robbery, but I have this, crash test dummy go out and do it. And then he does it and he gets deleted in the process.
Scott to fake the robbery so that the fake victims could apply for U visas.
Now let's pause right here. I want to show you guys what a U visa is just quickly. This is from, the government website. Victims of criminal activity, U non-immigrant status. All right. So it says the U non-immigrant status U visa is set aside for victims of certain crimes who have suffered mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement or government officials in the investigation or prosecution of criminal activity. Congress created the U non-immigrant visa with the passage of the Victims of Trafficking and Violence Protection Act, including the Battered Immigrant Women's Protection Act in October 2000. Legislation was intended to strengthen the ability of law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute cases of domestic violence, sexual assault, trafficking of non-citizens, and other crimes, while also prosecuting victims of crimes who have suffered substantial mental or physical abuse due to the crime and are willing to help law enforcement authorities in the investigation, prosecution of criminal activity. All right, so that's the whole thing. So set up a fake robbery at a gas station with all the cameras and everything, right? Make it look believable, and then go try to get that visa. That's the whole game.
Say police found 2 other fake robberies Winfrey set up before this one.
He didn't deserve what happened to him, and he was making a dumb decision. I'm not defending him, of course, but he didn't deserve to die.
Chade Beverly, Scott's fiance, is left to raise their 2 kids alone. Winfrey's now charged with murder in Scott's death.
You get to see your child, so your child can come see you behind the glass. Rashad will never see his kids again.
I mean, ultimately, look, you knew that he was doing wrong. So this is what I'm talking about. You can't just try to fight it after. If you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong. If you're in the streets can get you. Just like that guy that had the mugshot, women said that was handsome or whatever. And then they say, oh, after he got deleted by being in the street in the same kind of situation at the gas station doing the wrong thing, oh, it's jealousy. He didn't deserve to die. But look, what was he doing to get the mugshot in the first place? You understand? When you're in the street, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be doing something that seems kind of simple and not really that life-threatening, but you still around that kind of environment. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get deleted or you're going to go to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks if you're lucky. But I digress.
again.
But Beverly says she also wants to see the shooter, Jesus Vargas, charged.
He's the one actually behind the trigger. He's the one who made that decision.
Court documents say he told police that he fled the scene because he was on probation, meaning he wasn't allowed to have a gun.
Nobody's really talking about the main issue here, and that's gun laws. They need to change.
Gun laws? What are you talking about, gun laws? He was already on probation and not allowed to have a gun, but he still had it and deleted your fiance. So what's that going to do?
Court documents say Winfrey admitted that he and Scott were doing these staged robberies for about a year in exchange for money, saying
The question is, how many did they do? They said that at least 2 were linked to them before this one. So you're talking about 3 that they said on air, but they said they were doing them for a year. So you only did 3 in a year. That's not a very high turnover rate. So I want to know how many of these did they do and how many were actually accepted as real crimes, and the people that were the so-called victims, the fake victims, how many of them were able to get the U visa?
they had even done one the night before.
I don't expect people to feel bad. I don't expect people to feel sorry, but somebody still lost a life at the end of the day. Have some decorum.
Now, there are no court records indicating that the people who posed as victims in these fake robberies have been charged at this point. And as for the shooter, Vargas, the charging decision for him has been sent to a grand jury, but that decision has not come back yet. We'll keep you.
So, yeah, shout out to the Good Samaritan. You know, I mean, probably was a bad decision. You're on probation. It's like, look, man, you're getting robbed. Oh, well, really, you're getting robbed, man. Hey, man, I'm going to call the police, but I'm not going to get involved. I ain't going to risk my freedom. But, hey, that might have just been him trying to be the good guy or just, I don't know. I can't really call it. But, I mean, like, it could have been a real robbery. And then if it was a real robbery, then nobody would say that he's a bad guy, at least not in my opinion. But as I close, I want to say this. These migrants, man, are something else. Everybody want to say how poor they are. They don't have any money. Look, I can't tell. They got all the time in the world, all the money in the world, setting up fake robberies and squatting in houses. I'm just really kind of tired of hearing about the so-called plight of these so-called migrants. It's really just a wrap. And now you get people deleted in the process. Hey, man, it is what it is. I hope that those who set up the fake robbery, including the middleman who paid the guy the crash test, to go out there and get deleted, hopefully he gets prosecuted. And also these migrants, illegal aliens or whatever, they need to get prosecuted as well for setting the whole thing up and trying to defraud the government, causing this guy to wind up losing his life. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what happened here? Do you think that this is just the natural result of the street life? Okay, you want to be involved in the street life? All right, well, check it out. You might not survive the streets. Simple as that. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is just what happens when you engage in criminality. And the migrants, I don't really care about their cause. They can all go back to wherever country they came from, whether it be Europe, South America, Africa, any of those nations in those continents, wherever they came from, go back. And if you want to come over here, do it the right way, just like all the other legal immigrants do. Quite simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.